Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. Another great episode. We got some underwriters here. It's the evening before Thanksgiving, so we got a few. So we'll read them off, and then we'll start the show. We got Big Lee's Automotive Repair in Abington. We got John's Greenhouses and Florist Shop in Brockton. We got MDI Auto Brokers and Repair in Whitman. We got Beyond Graphics in Abington. We got Flavor Jamaica in Brockton. We got Johnny Macaroni's at two locations in East Bridgewater and one in Halifax. We got Chapin Sheds in Whitman. We got Just Say So Tailors and Dry Cleaners in Abington. We got T. Martini Sun and Flooring in Abington. We got Extreme Car Audio and Auto Starting in Weymouth. And we got Rick's Music World in Rainham, largest music education center in southeastern Massachusetts, with over 500 students. Huge selection of guitars, amps, drums, with a cool cafe and weekly open mic night, voted #1 music store. And thank you all very much. And now we introduce the guest. This is Joe Viglione. He's a record producer. He's a TV producer himself. He's cleaning his smartphone. He just took some.
I love taking pictures.
He loves taking pictures. He's got a little DeRosa, so he can't stop. So let him take his pictures, and then we'll interview him. So Joe Viglione, thanks for being on Topic Time tonight. You're a unique man in and of yourself, based on what I'm seeing here.
Thank you for the invite.
Okay.
I appreciate it. I love public access.
Yeah, it's the best. I mean, I'm living with it right now, and I'm enjoying every second.
I started in '79.
Okay, go ahead. Talk about how you got started and what you did, and how talk about all the things you've done. You told me you were the.
Let's have a conversation. You're
all right.
A guy.
All right. You talk about. You mentioned you were.
I wanted to open 1979 was Day Street in Somerville. Warner had a next to the post office in Somerville. They had a public access station. And
okay.
So these two BU students. This is a fun story.
Go ahead.
So I put my 45s, my EPs out in New England Music City in Kenmore Square.
Okay.
They had my music and all the other local bands. It was great. And
yep.
We'd be over at the Rathskeller, 528.
The Rat. Okay.
So, I get bored at the Rat. I go and get a cup of coffee, or I go into Music City. I'm looking at, Deep Purple, made in Japan, import, all, Jimi Hendrix, Electric Ladyland, import, all the good fun stuff New England Music City had back in the day. They're gone. And the guy, Mark Rosenfield, I didn't know him behind the counter. I said, oh, put that 45 on. And he put on the Guitar Master.
Okay.
Which was my single. It was like the record of the year in the real paper. But he didn't know who I was. I get on a chair and I start dancing.
Cool.
And I walk out the door.
Wow, were you dancing to his music?
My music.
Oh, okay.
My song Guitar Master was like
so he played your song. Nobody knew at that time. You were just breaking in.
No, people knew who I was. He didn't know who I was.
Okay, he didn't know.
No, I was already kind of, in the scene. People knew who I was. But
okay.
He was just some college kid at Boston University. So,
right.
So I get a phone call from him. He goes, hey, you're an interesting guy. We want to do a biography on you. So
okay.
He and this guy, Jay Rowe, Mark Rosenfeld, Jay Rowe, they did a biography on me.
Okay.
Then they called me up and said, your grandmother lives in Somerville. We can do public access. I go, what's that?
That's right. It was new then. It was just breaking in.
Well, they'd been around for, you can, Google it, but it had been spots here and there, but it really hadn't come into its own until around 83.
Right.
This is 79. A friend of mine in 73, Bob Boyd, was a general manager of a station up in Groton. He taped John Lee Hooker.
Okay, cool.
74. So there were little pockets of access. In 79, I came around, and I started doing the show TVI, and I interviewed Pastiche, my friend Mr. Kurt, and Mission of Burma, and had fun. And the Maps, Jim Clements and the Maps.
Okay.
And so Jay is now a bigwig at HBO.
Cool.
But he started producing my show in 79.
There you go.
And
you still keep in touch with him?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
No, there was some girl in love with me at the house, and she ran off and married him, and I have to thank him very much for that.
There you go. Okay.
So no, they were out in LA. Good luck. Good luck.
Right. Okay.
So anyway, I then managed Jimmy Miller, the Stones producer. So
okay.
I took a long time off from Access and came back around 92, launching the show in 95 with the late Marty Ballin of the Jefferson Airplane.
The Jefferson Airplane, wow. Now they're in the Starship.
Yeah, so I call up Marty Ballin and I said, hey, you're in town, do my new TV show. He goes, find me in Harvard Square. I'll be there for 3 days. Come to the bookstores. If you find me, I'll do the show. I'm going to go looking in bookstores for Marty Ballin. I mean, we're friends.
Right.
We knew each other for years. So I called up his father. I said, Joe, where's Marty? He goes, he's at this hotel. So he's at the House of Blues with the Jefferson Starship.
Right.
And Teo, God bless him, God rest his soul, Teo, wonderful man. Manager said, Joe, you can't tape in here. I go, why? He goes, House of Blues, you know, they own the interior and they have their own TV show. I said, okay, we'll do the hotel. And he goes, Howard Johnson's. And he goes, can I come? I said, sure, Teo, come over, you know. And so Marty's on the bed, and it's on a DVD now, you can see it. And we interviewed Marty Bell in '95, and that's how I launched the new show.
Wow. Okay. So where did you take it from there?
Oh, I called up Bobby Hebb, the great Bobby Hebb, Sonny. And Bobby was my third guest on my show.
The song Sunny?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's right. Yeah, from the
He
oldies.
became one of my best friends in my entire life, and we lost Bobby 8 years ago in 2010.
Right. Wow.
He'd be 80 this year.
Yep.
But from public access, Bobby Hebb, we had written in the 80s, but this was our chance to meet on TV.
Okay.
Became one of the best friends of my life, and I became his producer. I
Wow.
produced his box set.
Okay.
Very honored and humbled because his is like a guy that I'm just a huge fan of, and who knew that we hit it off, and we had a lot of the same ideas on music and stuff, and I just adore everything he did. I mean,
Cool.
the man had a lot of great music. So then, you know, the Doors. I interviewed the drummer John Densmore.
What about Ray Manzarek too?
Ray Manzarek was later. He was like 2002.
Okay.
But one of the first shows I did was we had Multi and the Barbarians. You could have Multi on. He's from Abington.
Okay. Cool. Next
My friend
couple of
Multi,
towns
you're gonna
away.
have Multi. So Multi is one of the first rock and roll bands ever out of New England. Multi and the Barbarians. Are You a Boy? Are You a Girl? Multi. These were his two hits. And What the New Breed Say. He had 3 hits. But he's at ATD a lot with
Ed Perry.
Ed, not Ed Perry, the other Ed, upstairs on Saturday nights.
Oh, I know who the guy is.
Yeah.
I don't forget it.
Ed and George. It was Ed and George. George is gone, but
Right.
Ed's wonderful. So on and on it went. You know, John Densmore and John Lennon's uncle, Uncle Charlie, and all sorts of fun personalities come through.
Wow.
And book authors. Laura Numeroff. Laura Numeroff, if you take a mouse to the movies, she's a children's author.
Okay.
And on my Facebook, if you look on my Facebook today, it was Thanksgiving 2002, 16 years ago.
Yeah.
She said, best stop of the tour. And I have the letter up, so I'm rambling. What about you?
Well.
When did you start in Access?
Well, I started it on August 18th, 2010 in Marshfield. And my strategy was try and just get people to call in because we were going live then. Wasn't easy because I got a few calls, not a lot, but it was 5 to 6 in the evening, and that's the drive time. So it's hard to get people to call in at that time. Eventually, I went on Facebook, and it was 2010 rolled into 2011. I started getting, you know, guest after guest after guest, and I've now done over almost 280 shows.
How many?
Oh, about close to 380. In fact, it's pretty close. This may be, I don't think this is number 380. I think maybe the next one will be. I've interviewed over 300 people. I've also been interviewed on Dirty Water Media. That was recent.
Oh, yeah, that's a good show.
It's very good. They invited me on as a guest about a month ago. And they used some footage from this show, from here in Carver, to supplement it. So it was really great.
All right, so you ready?
For what?
August 18th. I'm looking this up.
It was a Wednesday.
Yep. So August 18th, 1966,
Okay.
my friend Bobby Hebb opened for the Beatles
There you go.
at Suffolk Downs, Boston, August 18th.
Yeah.
We lost Bobby August 3rd, 2010.
Wow.
So when you started your show, Bobby passed on
2 weeks
a couple
earlier.
weeks earlier, and it was the anniversary of the Beatles concert, August 18th. How do you like that?
That's great.
See,
Well, we
which camera-
believe you.
Which camera are we on first?
The one with the red
Okay.
light. He's got 2 red lights.
I don't know.
He's-
So anyways, you know, so August 18th, Google it. But
Okay.
that's just like the spirits were aligned, the stars were aligned. You started your show August 18th, 2010.
August 18th.
I
And
remember
August
that.
18th, I remember, August 18th, 1966, I think was a Thursday, as I recall.
I can tell you right now because
Pretty
I pulled it up. But I was all of 66. I was all of 12. But my 66, yeah, my late girlfriend Jojo Lane,
Oh, man.
was 14, and she was in the Boston Herald because she's a 14-year-old girl, broke out of her house. Her mother didn't want her to go. God bless you, Helen. God rest her soul, Helen. JoJo's mom. JoJo and her friend ran to Suffolk Downs, and she was screaming. One of the screaming girls. She was in the Herald. A friend of mine, Eric Taros, is doing a movie on the Beatles tour, '66 tour. So he's got these great photos.
Wow.
And he knew JoJo, of course. All this fun stuff. We need like 10 hours. We need to go on ATD with the, what's the name of the station?
WATD.
No, this station here is
Cover public access, Area 58.
Area 58. So is that like a
It also
takeoff?
covers Halifax and Plimpton.
But Area 58, is that a takeoff on the aliens or just the highway?
Oh, I think it's just the vicinity that the
Both.
TV station
Both.
covers.
Area 51,
Yep.
Area 58. I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
'Cause
Let's
I
talk
was
about-
in that crash. Wait, I was in that alien crash. I'm one of the aliens.
Cool. Well, that's nice. Well, let's talk about some of the other stuff you've done. You've done some TV interviews. You interviewed Jodie Foster.
I've interviewed Jodie Foster.
Tell me who
and,
you told us how you
her
interviewed.
director, Robert Zemeckis. He did Flight, so I interviewed Robert Zemeckis. And,
Okay.
I met Alfred Hitchcock when I was 18.
Cool.
But what I like to talk about is Patrick Maté. So in 1978, I got a record deal in France.
Okay. Wow.
And Patrick Maté died.
Now you played a what did you play? You played, sang?
I'm a singer.
Singer. Okay.
I
Good.
just did Hull, September 1. We do it 6th year in a row.
Okay.
So we do the Rat reunion of Rat bands,
Okay.
which is a lot of fun. And so Patrick signed me in 1978, and I guess my EPs, I had printed up this EP that got in Playboy magazine, Boston, 5 Best Boston Bands, April 1977, a year
Okay.
before my deal. And a lot of press was on these EPs I put out, the Saltwater Summers and the Guitar Master. So this company, Bizarre Records in England, asked for 1,000 records. I shipped them over, and they don't buy them.
Wow.
They
Well,
left them on the dock, and I'm 22 years old. I don't know what's going on.
Right. Wow.
And they auctioned them off. Somehow they ended up in the music box in Paris, France, and they flew out the door.
You
And
mean
so
sold?
they were selling like hotcakes
Wow,
out of this
okay.
music box in France in 1977. Patrick
Oui,
calls
oui.
me.
Yeah.
Patrick had worked for RCA Records, and so he built his own record company with Carrere. Carrere was an independent label that had a lot of hits. Phyllis Hyman, I think the band Saxon, the heavy metal band.
Okay.
And they got this Boston underground rocker, Joe Vig, on Flamingo Carrere. We got a 4-star review in Sounds magazine in England. So I had some popularity, and we're playing the Paradise in Boston.
It's a great location. I was there one day in 1978 myself. Met Martin Mull, August 4th, 1978. That was a Friday.
And so at the Rat?
No, at the Paradise.
Oh, at the Paradise, yeah.
Yes.
So I played the Paradise June 29th, 1978, and I discovered a band called the Stompers.
Okay.
Um,
That was a Thursday, definitely. June 29th, 78. But go on.
So we started a series of Paradise shows, and I became this independent contractor putting the opening acts in for Bon Jovi and Queensryche
Wow.
and Alvin Lee, and I became Alvin Lee's publicist.
Wow, that's
And
awesome.
another Harrison was on the Alvin Lee record that I promoted, which was George Harrison.
George Harrison. Cool.
And John Lord from Deep Purple. And I hate to say this, people, because all these people have gone. George Harrison's gone, John Lord, Alvin Lee, Patrick Maté from New Rose died 2 nights ago, November 19th. Marty Ballin's wife, and then Marty Ballin.
Wow. Well, we're still here. We got to make the most of it.
I know, I'm turning this, I mean, that's just part of being a survivor, I guess, that you lose a lot of people that very important in your life.
I know.
Very important. Public access is important because Nick Venet, he produced the Beach Boys.
Okay.
And Nick and I would talk on the phone all the time. And Nick died, and I said to his girlfriend, I need to get a tape of Nick. I never got to interview him. And she sent me some public access footage of the great Nick Venet, who produced Linda Ronstadt and Jim Croce, put out American Pie for Don McLean.
Okay.
I discovered Don McLean, Andre Previn, Dory Previn, this great producer. Public access TV saved, we have an inside interview with Nick.
Cool.
Um,
And you have an inside interview with me, too.
And I want to say a shout out to Nick's wife, Valerie Venet, the Fifth Monkey. What a great guest. She's a terrific
The
guest.
Fifth
of mine.
Monkey? You mean like the band The Monkeys?
She was the Fifth Monkey.
Really? I didn't know they had a female.
Well, because she was in the TV show.
Okay.
So they always called her the
okay,
Fifth
with
Monkey.
Mickey Dolenz.
Right, but she was also in a lot of movies.
Okay.
Valerie Cares. And then she married Nick Venet. And Nick Venet, of course, did the Jimi Hendrix deal on Capitol Records. So there's all these people that have touched my lives that I am a huge, I like to say, appreciator of.
Right.
Not fan, but as a music historian, I appreciate these people and their work. And to have met them and hung out with some of them and been friends with them,
Right.
like
Wow.
the late Jimmy Miller, man who made Gimme Shelter and You Can't Always Get What You Want.
Oh, wow.
It's been an
Okay.
incredible life.
Of course. It's,
And public access has been a big, big part of my life.
yeah, me too.
Because it documents. Every public access show should be at every public library.
I agree.
All the sports games, the high school football. I used to tape the football and the hockey for Winthrop Cable Access TV.
Okay.
And I got to stand in the middle of winter on the pitcher's mound at the Fenway Park taping the football game.
Wow.
Because they would rent out to the high schools, and the high schools would have the games at Fenway Park.
No kidding.
So there I am on first base and freezing cold when Martha Coakley was running, and I'm like, Martha Coakley lives where I live, in Medford area, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, if Martha had only come out when we were out in the freezing cold, dropped the baseball, she would have been governor today. She didn't come out and do the things you have to do, and it's like, Martha, you should have dropped the baseball or the football or the hockey puck. While we were at Fenway Park, you would have got a ton of press, and you would have won the governorship.
Okay. Did she even? I don't remember her running for governor.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
Coakley
I
ran
think.
against.
Baker. I mean, against
Was it
Duval.
Baker? No, it's probably Charlie Baker.
Oh, she did.
Yeah,
Oh,
Charlie.
that's right. Okay, that was the last.
The Republican beat Martha because Martha did not drop the puck. I want this played in Medford so my dear friend Martha can see this. She didn't drop the puck when I was out there in the freezing cold working for those high school kids for $50 a night.
Okay.
That's charity work. That's hard work.
It is.
But it was a blast.
Okay, that's all that matters. You got to have fun.
Yep.
All right. Well, what does the future look like for you now that you've done all this stuff?
Well, I own a record company, and
Okay.
one of
What's
my
it called?
lawyers lives around the corner. So
What's the name of your record company?
Var Ulven Records,
Okay.
which I started Var Ulven magazine when I was 15, 1969.
Okay.
So in 76, I put out the first records on Var Ulven. Now, we've put out Mo Tucker from the Velvet Underground,
Okay.
Lou Reed's drummer. We put out all sorts of great music, Pastiche, so many, hundreds of Boston area bands. So now we want to build these archives on the internet. And all my Boston rock and roll anthologies, we want to expand them to hundreds of artists from 1983, 1984, 1985. So the history is up there on the web.
Okay, so that's what your goal is for the next several years, I guess.
If you want to see a little preview, you can go to musicbusinessmonthly.com.
Okay.
And you'll see a lot of reviews that we have the text of Boston music. But we've got audio, we've got the TV show. We've got more. My TV show, Visual Radio, has more Boston area musicians doing interviews.
Okay.
Other people have more tapes than I have of live shows, but of the interviews, I don't think anyone can touch our archives.
That's great.
Yeah, because this is, you're doing great work.
We try.
This is important work. And
It is.
Chris, thanks Chris for the lighting, because I see he did a great job here.
Oh, yeah, he always does.
Area 58.
Yeah.
I feel like
Never been here, but, this is a new frontier for you.
you found my spaceship, and
Yeah, there you go.
you know where I parked it?
Yeah, I saw where you parked it.
No, I changed. See, I'm from another universe. It's the size of a nickel. It's on the roof right now.
Oh, good.
That
I thought
way no one
I
can-
just heard a noise. Maybe that was your driver. I heard it sounded like a yelp, and I thought maybe that was your driver on the roof.
No, my driver's away for Thanksgiving, and I miss him, but that's another story.
I see. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, well, talk about some of the other things you've produced.
I'm a
you've
funny
done-
man, aren't I?
You are. What about TV, films, and whatnot?
Well, my movie on Marty Ballin, now that's an interesting story.
Okay,
I did a vampire movie in 71 and 72, two of them.
okay,
Vlad the Count Possessed. But I've got all sorts of documentaries I haven't finished. We finished the Marty Ballin one. We got a deal. It's out worldwide on music video distributors. So it's my 1995 interview from
Okay.
Cambridge,
right.
along with the Boston Esplanade. So what I did was I had my camera people, but then anyone in the audience shooting it, I allowed them to shoot as long as they gave me the footage.
Yep,
We did a 10 camera shoot. We used 8 of the cameras.
yep,
And 10 years ago, we taped Jefferson Starship, Jefferson Airplanes, Marty Ballin doing miracles and On the DVD, I got him doing, I didn't tape it, someone else did, him doing Grace Slick's Somebody to Love. So we have Marty singing the big hit song that he never sang on.
Interesting. Well,
It's great. It's
where was Grace
awesome.
doing all this? She wasn't there?
Grace does artwork now. Now, her father was an investment banker, so between the Starship and her father, she doesn't have to go out there and sing anymore. She does her artwork. And
Okay.
she'll tour and come to the Burlington Mall and show her art.
Cool. Wow.
Grace is wonderful. I mean, as fans,
must become-
I've never met her, but Grace is just a wonderful, brilliant talent. And
Oh, she is.
from the Great Society. I love hearing those early. I interviewed Grace's brother-in-law, Darby Slick. Her name's Grace Slick.
Right,
Her name was
right.
Grace Wing. So I interviewed Darby Slick from the Great Society, and Darby promised me I can interview Jerry Slick, her ex-husband.
Okay.
And Jerry Slick now does Green Day videos,
Oh, cool. You mean
or he
Bruce?
did back in the time,
Right.
back in the day.
Well,
But
Green Day still is active. They still do
right, but it
videos.
was like when I interviewed Darby, which was when I interviewed 95, 96. So
Right.
who the heck knows now? But it's all a blur for me because quantum physics works in my head. String theory, that ball of yarn for string theory, quantum physics, it's in
Right.
my head. That's my brain.
There you go. Wow.
Are you having fun yet?
Absolutely. That's all I've had all the time since we started.
I'm pleased to meet you. So we were friends on Facebook for a while.
That's right. And you looked like an interesting person to interview, so I reached out to you just like I do for so many others.
I hope that I've matched your expectations.
Oh, you've more than matched them.
Can I tell funny jokes now?
Go ahead.
I like running around with the camera. So what I do now, when I tape bands, I tape them on Facebook Live.
Okay.
And Facebook Live, for whatever reason, you can only do it this way instead of like horizontal.
I
love
know.
doing
It's the same thing with my camera too.
And one of the tapes I'm doing, I'm like, I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know they did this to us. They hijack us. They don't tell us. I brought you a show, Leland Stein. Leland Stein runs the Regent Theater up in Arlington.
In Arlington, I've been there a few times for movie premieres.
Yeah, so I did an interview with my old friend Leland. I met him at WCUW Worcester, one of the first stations to play my music, 1976.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that's
Thank
a
you.
little visual radio.
I appreciate it. Okay.
Maybe Area 51 can play it if they want.
It's 58.
Area 57.
What
Area
did we
50
say it was? 15? I don't know. Whatever. You're right.
I think it's Area
No,
51 is
58.
the Roswell.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, we don't care. We just not worried.
Yeah. So who do you want to interview? Who do you want to interview that you haven't?
Well, some of the people you've interviewed.
But name someone you
Well-
would like to interview that
Name someone. Okay.
just one. Who's your ultimate? Who would you love
well-
to interview?
Well, let me see. That's a good question. If I actually had to think
Mick
about it,
Jagger, Keith Richards. Who?
well, I know that's a tough choice because let's say I had a choice to get the most prolific interview of my career. So who would I pick? I would probably go with let's see. I think Steven Tyler of Aerosmith.
Steven?
Yeah.
So I was backstage at Aerosmith with Bobby Hebb's daughter.
Okay.
Joe Perry and Mrs. Perry, sometimes they live around this area, so hi to Joe and Billy.
Okay. I'll have to get him one too.
Billy puts me on the guest list, so I go, and Billy's not there because one of her pets, I guess she had to rush the pet to the doctor. So I'm there with Katoto Von Hebb, Bobby Hebb's daughter. And there's Steven Tyler. So I go up behind Steven and I make a comment like I'm someone from back in the saddle again
Okay.
at the Crazy Horse Saloon. I'm not going to say her name because I named her. And I said, and he goes, Suki Jones.
Cool.
And he goes, I go, it's Joe Vig, Steven. And I said, I want you to meet Bobby Hebb's daughter. I put them together. We start singing Sunny to Katoto, and they took a picture. And she goes, he's my favorite artist singing my father's song. She was so touched. That was 2014 over at Great Woods. And I'm going to say, Mr. Tyler, Mr. Perry, one of the best concerts I've ever seen. I've seen you guys since '72. Show was phenomenal. Now, I've watched Aerosmith all these years, the Lynn Bowl and, the Box in Boston, which was under a movie theater, and with the Kinks, opening for the Kinks, opening for Mott the Hoople. This show at Great Woods, and they've done thousands of shows. As a critic, as someone who's followed the band, it was phenomenal. I had an amazing time watching Tyler, Perry, Johnny
Woodford,
Depp,
Joe
Johnny
Hamilton.
Depp and Slash.
Oh, okay.
Johnny Depp and Slash, but the show was so perfectly put together. All due respect, Mick and Keith, but when JoJo took me in September of '94 to see the Stones, this Aerosmith show was a better show than what I saw the Stones do. Although the Stones in '72 with my good friend Mick Taylor, that was phenomenal.
Okay. Well, guess what?
That was when the city was in flames.
Okay, we're down to the last 2 minutes of the show. Give some
2
quick shouts.
minutes?
Yeah, we made it happen. So give some shouts out to the people and condense them, and then we'll wrap it
Well,
up.
I just want to say, with all the name dropping I did,
Yep, maybe
sorry
that's-
that so many are gone, and I'm so happy that some of the names I dropped are still alive. I hope that you had fun with me.
I did. Hope you had
You'll
fun
have-
here with me.
Yeah, you'll have to come up to Wakefield
Okay.
or Reading or Winthrop Cable, because I'm going to be relaunching my show in the next couple of weeks at those stations.
Also, I'd love to come up. I'll come up there.
I got like a ton of memberships at different stations in that region.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I also want to thank you before we wrap it up for giving me so many people to contact to try and hook up as a guest as well, including that woman that.
Kate Genovese was going to
Kate
be
Genovese.
here tonight, but she's cooking for her family, and God bless her, she has to cook for the family. But Kate Genovese was going to share the spotlight. She will be here to do an interview.
We'll
She
do
said
it.
she
We'll
would
definitely
love
get
to.
Kate on the show.
She's a great author of 5 or 6 books. She's great.
I know. Well, on that note, we ready to wrap it up? Ready to jiggy with it?
Thank you.
Thank you. And here we go,
All right.
folks. Happy Thanksgiving. See you next time. Take care. Now it's a wrap.
That's magical.